Hi, welcome to Gamer's Gamut. From news to reviews and discussions, we talk about everything video games. What's going on YouTube? I'm back again with another video. Today I wanted to talk about an article I came across this morning. According to Jason Schreier over on Bloomberg, PlayStation is working on a competitor for Gamepass. It's called Project Spartacus and is rumored to be targeting a release for spring 2022. If you don't know who Jason Schreier is, he's one of the most well-connected reporters in the gaming industry today. So when he reports on rumors like this, people tend to pay pretty close attention. According to reports, Project Spartacus will be available on the PS4 and PS5. And like I mentioned before, they're targeting a spring release. So let's go ahead and read from the article a little bit here. We're reading from Jason Schreier over on Bloomberg. Sony's PlayStation division is planning a new subscription service to compete with rival Microsoft's popular Gamepass, according to people familiar with Sony's plans and documents. The service, codenamed Spartacus, will allow PlayStation owners to pay a monthly fee for access to a catalog of modern and classic games. The offering will likely be available on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 when it launches, expected in the spring. The service will merge Sony's two existing subscription plans, PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now. Currently, PlayStation Plus is required for most online multiplayer games and offers free monthly titles, while PlayStation Now allows users to stream or download older games to play. Documents reviewed by Bloomberg suggest that Sony plans to retain the PlayStation Plus branding, but phase out PlayStation Now. Details on Spartacus may still not be finalized, but documentation reviewed by Bloomberg outlines a service with 3 tiers. The first would include the existing PlayStation Plus benefits. Second would offer a large catalog of PlayStation 4 and eventually PlayStation 5 games. And the third tier would add extended demos, game streaming, and a library of classic PS1, PS2, PS3, and PSP games. A representative for PlayStation did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Now, so this all needs to be taken with a grain of salt. Obviously, these are rumors, even if it does come from a pretty reliable reporter with sources. But this sounds awesome. I think it's inevitable. When you have a service like Game Pass changed the game overnight, whether you want to admit it or not. It changed the way we think about how games are delivered and bought. And it was only a matter of time before PlayStation had to make a counter move. Now, they actually made PlayStation Now before Game Pass even existed, but PlayStation Now was neglected for years, and it sat over in the corner unused and unmarketed. In the past few years, they definitely have been doing a better job of putting better games in there, doing a little bit better job of pushing PlayStation Now as Game Pass has become more popular, but they're definitely a few steps behind. It definitely needs to be retooled. So I'm glad they're going back to the drawing board. I just hope that if they're going to take the time to turn it into a new project, and if they're going to take the time to re-release it and make a big deal out of it, that I hope that they really, if they're going to go for it, go for it. I don't think that they're going to do day and date games. I think that's off the table. I'm pretty sure Sony has come out and said that's not how they plan on doing things going forward. So I don't think they will be doing day and date, but I think you will see the window of newer releases coming in there maybe shrink. I think they may try to make it a main push and a main effort, a main part of their strategy going forward. This is the perfect example of why competition is so healthy and so good for the industry. Right now, you have PlayStation trying to make their services better in order to compete with Microsoft, because that's their strength. And Microsoft is trying to make their first-party studios better in order to compete with PlayStation's AAA first-party studios. When one of them makes an advancement in a certain area, it forces the other to innovate and also try to advance that same area, or they risk falling behind. So these two companies should drive each other in the future, and I think this is just the perfect example of what we hear about in the community of why competition is so important. So we want a healthy Xbox, we want a healthy PlayStation, competition is good. And it sounds like they're going to get rid of the PS Now labeling. They're going to keep the PS Plus, but they're just going to have PS Plus different tiers, right? So I guess the original tier is going to be what it is now, $60 a year, and you get 3, sometimes even more games for free every month. And the quality of these games are actually pretty good. My boy McQuacks on Twitter shared this picture with me showing all of the games that they released in the last year for PlayStation Plus, and it's a pretty substantial list, and there are some really good, really high rated titles in here. So already, just at base value, PlayStation Plus, I highly recommend it. It's a very good service. So now they're going to get rid of PlayStation Now, according to this rumor, and if you pay for tier 2, it will let you access a collection of PS4 and eventually PS5 games. And then I guess there's going to be another tier. And then the rumor says there's going to be a third tier where we can access PS1, PS2, PS3, and PSP games. So as long as they do this correctly and they divvy it up correctly and the prices aren't too outrageous, I'm kind of excited. I want to see what they put forward. I think it's all going to depend on the quality of the titles, the frequency of the titles, how new they are, the details, the pricing, the different tier levels. It's going to be very interesting. If they want to really put a strong foot forward and make a move into this space, I think they need to come forward with some authority. I don't think Day and Date will be that move, and I think they're going to do everything to avoid that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they have a few surprises up their sleeve for us. So I'm very interested to hear this news. I would love a subscription service. I already play for PlayStation Now. It's actually pretty decent. It's been improving over the years. Now, if they do this, I don't think that they'll be able to download PS3 games. I still think that's going to be a problem. That problem roots back to the architecture of the PS3. They use the cell architecture, and the PS4, PS5 are x86 architectures. And I guess there's some technical issues trying to emulate the PlayStation 3, and it's expensive. So I'm not super technical in those fields. I still believe that hurdle exists. So I wouldn't count on being able to download your PS3 games, but I bet you will be able to download just about everything else. So I'm going to keep my ear to the ground. It's all going to depend on the details and how they approach this. If they do approach this in the right way and they do compete on a Game Pass level, I think the industry is going to win in all aspects. I think we are already flooded with more games than we could ever want to play, but this could take us to the stratosphere. I'm really excited for the future. I'm going to be listening for details. As soon as I hear any more news, I will be sure to keep you updated. So thanks for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care of yourself. Watch out for your neighbor. Until next time, peace.